Hello and welcome back to Proverb Minutes. Today let's talk about the second death, and hopefully we are all able to avoid that. If we're honest enough to admit the truth, then we might see God, and that's what we hope for. Let us read then Revelation 20:13. The sea gave up the dead who were in it, and death and Hades delivered up the dead who were in them. And they were judged, each one according to his works. Then death and Hades were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And anyone not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. The book of life is an interesting study that I'd hope to visit here in the future. But what we see here more importantly is that each one of us is going to be judged according to our works. God is looking to see how we respond to his call. You know, fire is something that is going to cleanse, has a cleansing property to it. But one of the things we want to avoid here is that second death. And it is fire that's going to either destroy or emancipate us. This is what's going to condemn most of us in Revelation here 21:8. But the cowardly, unbelieving, abominable, murderers, sexually immoral, sorcerers, idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burns with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. And that's what we want to avoid, is the second death. But let's just look at this. Ever been cowardly? I'd say I'm guilty. Unbelieving? Have we had doubts? Have we done the abominations that aren't pleasing to God? Surely. Have we hated anyone? We've been a murderer? Sexually immoral? Have you ever had thoughts of the passion and lust in your youth? Sorcerers? Ever looked for somebody to give you that glimpse on the future out of your tragedies and tortures? The idolaters, the people that worship things, ever desire something and can't see straight? And on liars, anyone ever lied? Because if you say you've never sinned, you make him a liar. So we see easily, none of us are going to be saved if this is the situation. But again, God looks for the response. He's looking for us to come back to him. And if we don't come back to him, these are the things that pointed out clearly on what we need to do in 2 Thessalonians 1:8. In flaming fire, taking vengeance on those who do not know God, and on those who do not obey the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ. These shall be punished with everlasting destruction from the presence of the Lord and the glory of his power. So we can see easily what's going to happen and what we don't want to happen. If we do not know God and we don't obey what Jesus has called for in his writings and pleas to us to be baptized and immersed in his truth, then, we're not going to inherit the inheritance that's been offered. And the other side of the picture is that everlasting destruction away from the presence of the Lord, the giver of life and the light of love, which is the glory of his power. We don't want to lose these things. So on the list of what we need to do if we want to have that sanctuary ahead is to know God, to obey what Jesus has asked of us. And then we won't be taken away from the presence of the Lord, but we have to, then be joyous about looking forward to what is coming at us, the glory of his power. Well, I thank you for coming to Proverb Minutes. I hope this has helped. Certainly none of us would want that second death on anyone, especially ourselves. Let's all try to do the best we can, help others. Let's get to heaven in the best form that we can in helping one another. Thank you for coming to Proverb Minutes, and please subscribe. We'll see you on that next ride. Let's rise from this baptism of fire and be cleansed in his truth. Bye-bye.